Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. HappyCattyCrypto here. I've got a lot of good news to bring, and we've got a lot of stuff to take a real deeper dive into. It's going to be a longer video than normal, so buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride of ups, downs, lefts, and rights. Drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment. Those three things really do help the channel. Let adverts run. Why not? It really does help us out. You only need to let one advert run. You don't need to sit there and listen to them for a year. You know, it's really simple. So before we get any further into this, I have gone through that busy stage I was in. I'm back, getting back into a normal routine. A video here, kind of like every other day, if not every day, but not flooding the market with things, so to speak. Anyway, we're in a very tricky position. We've got lots of stuff going on. I think one of the things everybody's focusing on the most, and I think this is why it's going to tie in so well to this video, is because currently all the swapping, everything's messed up with Station, everything's messed up with Mobile Station, and can't swap, you can't do all these things that you used to be able to do. And guess what? You really want them fixed, don't you? Right? Yeah, of course we do. We all want them fixed. I want them fixed. This is why it's going to tie in so well. Now, currently, if we break things down, I have broken this down in a YouTube short. The comp pool balance is at around 2 billion. If we take these top three props, which are spend proposals, you minus that out from what we have, you're left with just over 9 million LUNC. This is really not good. The community pool is not a infinite resource for you to dip your greedy little mitts into. It's not a money tree at the end of the garden for you and the kids to go and grab money off when you feel like it. This is for the blockchain, and it's for our long-term health. We've got a lot of stuff that we need. We've got a lot of sectors that have been privatized. We're going to be going into that a lot deeper in this video, like I was saying. Now, for example, currently, if we had developed our own mobile app, our own station, like I've been saying for months now, we developed our own systems instead of this whole relying on other systems or allowing people to privatize sectors. And who has privatized the wallet sector? Well, Terra Rebels have. And they've been waiting for a position like this, a time specifically like this, where we kind of like have no choice, but we do, because ultimately the system does still work. We can still make swaps. It's just a little bit more annoying than it usually is. Now, what I 100% believe is the Terra Rebels prop is a scam in itself, because the running cost is around $53 from what I can tell. And there's a lot of these kind of like shady situations going on with, these different privatizations of sectors. And we keep going over this because it's so important for us to understand why people are doing this. They're doing this because there's a lot of money in that community pool that they can make people think, if there's not people like myself that are there to seriously question this stuff and take a deeper dive into it and say, hold up a minute, you're not actually even caring for the blockchain. You're not caring about its health. If we're left with 9 million, how are we going to get an L2 team? How are we going to get a mobile app? How are we going to get Station? How are we going to get the Commonwealth merged into Station? How are we going to get on-ramps, off-ramps? How are we going to have a marketing team? How are we going to do anything with 9 million in the community pool? It's not going to build up that quick. And let me tell you something for certain, what I do know. By the time the comp pool balance gets to 2 billion again, this same situation will happen again. And we'll be stuck in a situation where we're renting. Now, what Terra Rebels are doing is pretty much, if you, for example, work on site, right? If you've got tools you use every day, they're saying to you, well, you need to rent the tools from us. It's going to be £20 a day, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. I'll pay you £20 a day out of my wages. That's so amount a week, this, that, and the other. Bish, bash, bosh. No. You're not going to do that, are you? If your boss said to you, well, you can rent a laptop from us for £30 a day, or you can go and buy your own for, £200. What are you going to do? You're going to go and rent it? Of course you're not. These guys think we're stupid. But what I'm starting to see is there's deeper, sinister things going on in the validator consensus, and we're going to be taking such a deep dive further into this. But what people need to understand is is if this prop goes through, there's serious questioning to go forward as to what is going on. Now, the reason why I believe all nodes voted yes last time was because they thought this was something that the community wanted. They thought it would be better, but it's not, right? Let me tell you something about the endpoints. The L1 team can actually back all of this up. I've been saying this for months, specifically if you've been listening. You can decentralize those endpoints that everybody is fighting for across the active set. Great, right? Because then it becomes decentralized, and then guess what? It falls under governance. Governance. What does that mean? Well, it means everything goes for a vote. Now, who has not followed this kind of procedure recently? There's one thing that we see time and time again from these bad actors. Oh, you're centralizing things, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're shady, this, that, and the other, right? Let's go over to Commonwealth. Take a look at the members. Now, Agora was supposedly shut down by TFL. This whole situation was played out by a group of people, and the person who led this was Edward Kim. As to which Edward Kim, Cosmo Rex, Bilbo Baggins, and we can see EK8 down here somewhere else, and here we go here, had taken it upon themselves to move everybody to Commonwealth, as to which they're the admins, right? Well, that's of great benefit. How can we see that is already of great benefit to them? Well, they've pinned their mega thread, right? So that forever stays at the top of governance. So every average Joe that comes in sees that at first sight, and it's ridiculous. Do you know what's even worse is that they totally ignored governance, right? This should have gone to governance. It should have gone to a vote. Even moving, right, should have gone to a vote. Guess what? The people who are admins of this, it should have gone to vote. But even worse than all of this, Edward Kim, Bilbo Baggins, and Cosmo Rex especially should have stopped and said to themselves, maybe we should put this to governance. Maybe this shouldn't be under our control. Maybe the community should decide. Of course we should have. This is such an important part of a working system that makes up our blockchain. This is where people come to find out information on the proposals that are currently available for them to vote on. People like myself who are validators, we rely on this to make our decisions on the proposals, right? This is a huge, it's just gross misconduct, right? Now, put this situation, put the L1 team in their boots. If the L1 team had done this, they would be losing it. Oh, they would be losing it. Oh, there would be all hell to raise. But there's not, because the L1 team didn't do this. So now, what should have actually happened was, instead of going through all of this work to build this Commonwealth that they control and they can pin things on, the work should have gone into Terra Station. Right? I put a tweet out specifically saying that it should have gone like this. There should be a discussions tab and it should be controlled by governance. No one should be able to be the admin of it. Is anybody the admin of the proposals? No. That's why we have so many spam proposals. That's the beauty of governance. When something is controlled by governance and everything just always feeds back to the governance, even when it comes down to L1 proposals for community spends, it all comes down to governance. And ultimately, that's what you want. You don't want to see the privatization of anything. If we can build it into the system, we should be building it into the system. If we look at other people outside of crypto, like Google, what did they do? Well, they made themselves the Swiss Army search engine that does everything. Emails, Word documents, Excel, you name it, they do it. There's so much stuff at Google, and that's how we need to be. We can't expect an average Joe user to have a Commonwealth account, a Terra Station wallet, a Twitter account for all this different information. No, they want it all in one place. They want it to be easy. They want it to be simple. They want it to be collective and professional. They don't want to be going loads of different places, making loads of different swaps and loads of, get the DEX on here. Get everything on here and our chain will prosper. I can tell you that for certain. We stop allowing people to privatize things. So if we go over and we actually look at the proposal for the Rebel system funding, right? Biggest misconception right now is that a lot of people, and this is just a theory, that they don't even know this is to do with Terra Rebels at all. Running costs and technical support of Terra Classic infrastructure for Q3. Well, they've specifically used the word Q3 to tie themselves in people's minds into the Q3 mandate, right? Like this is a division. You know, oh, other people are voting yes for this. Oh, it's got a lot of support. Yeah, I'll just yes it. It's either that or votes are being paid for, votes are being lobbied, or, and this is my biggest worry currently right now with everything, anybody can spin up a node and get into the active set. And what I believe is these bad actors, these groups that are conforming, getting together now and getting more organized, are spinning up as many nodes as they can possibly spin up, because they've got more chances of garnering more voting power, right? Just, you know, some people love to support small nodes. It's just one of those things. Let's say, for example, you've got a small spider's web and a big spider's web. Which spider's web is going to catch the most flies? Well, the big one is, right? It's got more surface area. And that's kind of the idea, I think, behind this. I've got a lot of heavy evidence to support this. I've got evidence to support that lobbying happens because I've got emails. The sad part is I can't actually show emails that people have sent me because that would be breaking the law in my country. And I respect people's privacy, even if they're, you know, someone I don't really get on with. But lobbying happens. The biggest... There's so many big things with this, Jay. My brain. So the majority of these people that have voted yes must not even be like thinking about it. It's just like, yeah, cool, you know, yeah, support for Terra Classic, yeah, mate, yeah, no worries. And a week later, they'll be going, oh, well, there's only 9 million left in the community pool. How did that happen? It's like, well, you know, you guys just voted to spend all of the money on something that we don't need. The reason why we don't need it is because we need to build our own system. We need our and the joke is the system is pretty much ready. It just needs more time, more support. We don't need to consistently pay for its upkeep. Like I was saying, it's like renting your tools for your job, which is absolutely ridiculous. The people who are voting yes to this need a serious status check, because even if all three of those in the best case scenario pass, we're screwed. There is no L2 team coming. There is no marketing team. There's going to be no mobile stations, no on-ramps, no off-ramps, no extra funding. We need to build up a healthy system. We can't keep draining the life out of our blockchain each time. It's just not fair. I'm so glad people don't have access to the Oracle pool in the same way they have access to the community pool, because our chain would have been ransacked a long time ago and someone would have figured out some sort of clever scheme to embed themselves to get all of the money. It's absolutely crazy. And like I was saying, right, do you think any of these people respect the system? Of course they don't. Obviously, they wouldn't be putting forward these proposals that are going to break the blockchain financially. And I've said this many of times, this is pretty much what they want. They want us in a position where there's not enough money for us to actually build things to get things done, right? We've got such a huge road ahead of us, and we could be the most attractive blockchain in the world. Our rewards are awesome. The system's really simple. You don't need to do loads of different things. You don't need to ring up your aunt's cat's dog's cousin's friend to get his QR code. You know, it's a really simple system, and it could just be so much better if we could just get better aligned. And I just feel like we've got a load of fake nodes and fake groups that are just simply here to destroy the blockchain from the inside out. And the reason why I believe this is because Luna is the enemy. As much as people have always said we should work together, we should do this, no, there's only room for one of us, period. It's so obvious now to me that they are sabotaging everything. They're trying to keep us down. They don't want to see a USTC repeg happen when, at the beginning, when there was still hope for them and they hadn't fully gone over to the system. They wanted a repeg, this is what can fix it. All of a sudden, that's all changed. It's very funny. Even Classy was a yes on this, and then all of a sudden, that's a no from me. I've changed it all to a no, and it's just kind of the sheep attitude that we have where people are too scared to stand up for what they believe in. And if more of us can be like I am and do what, not even like what heroes do, but just do the honest thing, walk the honest path, be like High Castle says, be the koi that swims up the waterfall and becomes a dragon, right? Folks, Have a really nice day. I know this has been an up and down video. I wanted to save this one to the end. I'm going to be doing a whole video on it, but guess what? If you're delegating with us, auto compounding is getting turned back on. That's going to be available on HTC Factory. But guess what? We're going to be bringing USTC airdrops within the next 2 months. Not just for the Penguin holders. That's happening today. This is actually for our delegators with our node. I think we're going to be the first node doing USTC airdrops. This is what makes us different. We ignore the FUD. Yeah, we have a laugh sometimes and we throw sticks back at people, but ultimately we build, we produce things. I was the first person to produce a website. This website was called LUNCpenguins, and this is how much I hate privatization. If you went to the dashboard previously, 4 or 5 months ago, you would see me all over this thing. It was all over it. All over it. I didn't like it. It was too me. I gave it to the community. I removed the LUNCpenguins brand from it, separated that, and gave this system to the community and made it for the community like it's supposed to be. And these are the kind of things we need to. If I could run this thing through governance, I would, but we don't need to. It's not one of those things. Ultimately, this thing will always be there for this community. And it's these kind of things that we need to continue to do. And that's the beauty of the LUNCpenguinsNFT project. It's consistently evolving. There's always the next step. It's not like, oh, well, we've bought the NFT. What do we do now? It's like, if you meet any of the sort of community members, they'll all say to you, buckle up and hold on, because he just keeps bringing thing after thing after thing after thing. And people are like, it can't get any better than this. And then guess what? It does. And this is going to be a module specifically for the USTC airdrops that I'm not going to be like the auto compounding module we created and gave to the whole validating community for free. It's not going to be a situation like that, because we need to now bring an edge to who we are, what we do, and what we're about. Because ultimately, if we keep doing the homework for everybody in the class and keep being a good team player and stuff like that, we're going to help everybody pass their exams and we'll likely fail ourselves. And that's not what I started HCC for. I started this to help people, and I want to continue to help people and help more people and walk this journey with everybody together. Folks, it's been a longer video than normal. Stay safe, and honest financial advice. Beware of scammers, doppelgangers, anybody who pretending to be me, and I'll catch you in the next one.